How's it going? So look, this is the third game now, after me hard inting, after the switch has happened. And look, you see, like, as I predicted, I'm playing to win because right now the pendulum has swung in my way, so now I'm in the winner's queue all the time. And look, you see, my teammates are becoming super good, and enemy is just becoming shittier and shittier and shittier. You see? So the red line is how many number of good players on the enemy team, and blue line is number of good players on my team. So you see, when you are in the loser's queue, the red line is above the blue line. That means there are more good players on the enemy team, and there are most of your teammates are shitters, most of the enemy team are good. Whereas when you are in the winner's queue, it's the reverse. So all the good players are on your side, and all the shitters are on the enemy side. And you see, like, they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And do you think that this is by coincidence that after me going on an absolute rampage of an int, the pendulum swung, and off we go into the winner's queue? It's just completely rigged. So that's what I'm saying, is that, like, it's pointless for you to even practice in here, because all that is happening, it just bounces the shitters between the teams. So the winner team, all the shitters are, if you're in the winner's queue, all the shitters are on the enemy team. You are in the loser's queue, all the shitters are on your team. And that's it. You have to, like, think about it as a session. So let me just delete this real quick. Think of boxes, right? So Riot knows that there are players that are they probably have something like 3 boxes. Like, don't quote me on this. This is just me speculating. So if I was creating a session, this is what I would do. This would be good players, bad players, and then unstable. Okay, so if I want to create, so we have 3 teammates, right? If I want to create a winner's team, I would do something like this. So I know for a fact that this team is going to lose. And you see that a lot. Because look, if we go back to the previous game, they had like 1 player. And you know that for a fact. Sometimes when you are in the lobby, you're just stomping and your whole team is just inting. And that's how, because you are simply in a loser's queue. And then that's it. There's nothing you can do about it. And then if I want to create, let's say, a stable match, because occasionally you get this where matchmaking just blesses you with a stable match, you can throw in some unstable players and they will make it a coin flip. But most of the time we want to control the outcome of the players so that we can optimize our algorithm in such a way where the churn rate minimizes, right? So we can probably observe how the player interacts with the system, and then we can create sessions based on, well, I'm going into scientific mode a little bit, but we can kind of like, well, I don't know how to explain it. It's like basically it's a rigged system, because what algorithm is doing, it's reading your behavior, how you interact with clients, what makes you play more, what makes you play less, and then based on that, it will create sessions where it's something like win, win, loss, loss, win, loss, loss, something like this. And then over time, the more you play, the more it will look and say, okay, he spends more time when he loses more, or he wins more, or he wins 60% of games, and it tries to kind of like manipulate that system. So the idea that you are in control of the client, unless you're manipulating it specifically like I do, if you simply get good style, you just sit down, you play, you try to practice, you watch a replay, is not going to help you. is not going to help you, because it's rigged. You have to understand it's rigged so that it's gonna be like, it's just gonna be bouncing the shitters between the teams, and then the system decides if you lose or win, and then that's it. Of course, some games they're gonna be you might win some games, right? Because the enemy just did not play really well, or the good player decided to try out a new champion, so he became unstable. And then that's how you can kind of win. But like overall, the fact that I can so easily manipulate it myself and get the outcome. Look, you see I have 89% probability of getting the client to do what I want it to do. And all I'm doing is I'm just looking at my win rate, I'm looking at my performance, and I can create my own sessions, and I can predict where I'm going to win or lose with very high accuracy. One sec. You see, like, this is another account where I leveled it up to level 30 because it's level 30 now. I don't do it I level them up to level 30 and then I forget about them, right? I sell them sometimes. Sometimes I just keep them. But you see, like, I can create sessions for myself with 92%, more than 92% accuracy in determining what the outcome is going to be before the game is going to start. The fact that I can do it and I'm blind to the algorithms of Riot, I'm using my own Excel and my own intuition. Imagine how efficient their system is. And you have to understand, they have decades of perfecting matchmaking systems. And I showed you Mortal Kombat, where they have the difficulty adjustment. I showed you the NBA Jam, where they also have difficulty adjustment. Like, imagine how much science went into this to perfect the algorithm. And you wonder why League of Legends is such an addictive game. That's because the algorithm makes it addictive, right? For me, it's kind of like a fun scientific experiment, which is very interesting. Like, I'm starting to dig the engagement optimized matchmaking, because I can make it bark, I can make it jump, I can make it do whatever the hell it wants to do, right? As long as you don't give a shit about rank. Because the cookie they're trying to give you is, if you don't do what I do, you're not gonna get a rank. But I don't give a shit about rank. I'm just interested more in manipulating the system and then kind of replay. I kind of enjoy replay watching, honestly. I don't know. It's just one of those things I like to do. So I like to have good teammates on my team. So then I get to kind of enjoy winning the game and then perfect my gameplay and come up with different strategies and how to win more consistently, I suppose. That's why I play Nasus, you know? Like, Nasus is not my favorite champion. I play him a lot, but he's just extremely stable, and if you get into winner's queue, he's probably the best champion to be in the winner's queue. Because your team is going to give you enough time so you can stack up, and you're not going to have those 3-player ganks. Or now I'm playing jungle because I realized every single lane is winning, so I can just take dragon for free. And I'm telling you, these guys, I love dragons. The winner's queue guys. They absolutely love dragons. Well, let me show you one second. All right, so look. We need to wait a bit until my sound kicks in. I don't know. I'm getting this problem with the sound sometimes. But anyway, look at the chat in here. You'll see that they're gonna basically ping me. Yeah, you see? Yorick is like, hey, dragon is coming up. And these guys were also pinging me a couple of times. I literally ghosted, basically, for the dragon. Because when I'm given a free dragon, it's like Christmas for me. I want to get in there. Because, like, this Mundo guy is completely useless. And look, like, everyone is in position. Everyone is in position. The bot is pushed. The top is... The mid is pushed. Everybody's in position. This guy ulted, so I can take it. Bot lane is winning. Mundo is just doing some weird shit. Which is this Mundo is gonna be on your team when you're trying to get good. And he's gonna go, he's gonna do this basically. That's what he's gonna do. Look, he's standing. There are 3 people around him and he's trying to kill Nasus. Just think about the level of intelligence of trying to pull off a move like this. Like, at least move and kite or do something, like, just stand there, but like, Jesus. And you see, what I'm saying is that, like, think about my players, how smart they are, and think about the enemy players, even though they're supposed to be the same level. And there was also, like, in here, where was it? But you get the picture, like, it happens all the time. Like they just love dragons, because they know how to win the game, they know, like, they take barons all the time. So they kind of, even if they lose, they're still useful, as opposed to, like, the loser skew players who are just like, it doesn't matter what you do, it makes no difference what you do. They're just gonna be useless, they're just not gonna do any damage, they're just gonna walk around the map, be in the wrong places at the wrong time, die before objectives. You know what I'm talking about. Like, these guys are just like, they're just like, you just can't win with them on your team, and that's it. Occasionally you can, but most of the time you cannot. So you see, that's what I'm saying, is that the system is simply just bounces then between the teams, pendulum swings, now you're in the winner's queue. And you can manipulate it yourself by simply, like, again, losing is a currency in League of Legends. So you have to play with the shitters, and that's the price you pay for playing League of Legends. So that's what I'm saying, is that if I am to pay this price, I will pay it on my terms, which is lose the game as fast as possible. And then once the pendulum swings, I can detect it. I'm like, okay, time to play for the win, to have fun, as opposed to playing these games where you just, like, pulling your hair out of your head trying to figure out why is this guy has no mana before the Baron, or where did his smite go? Oh, he smited a dude as opposed to smiting the Baron. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, shit like this just tilts you, because they have, for example, they have no jungler. You somehow ended up killing their jungler. You killed another person. And you're like, okay, finally we'll get the Baron for free. And he just misses a smite. And then Morgana auto attacks and outsmites him. Do you know what I'm saying? With an auto attack. And you just, like, and you have to pull your hair out and be like, oh my god. Like, dude, seriously. And small shit like this, I'm talking about the loser skew players. They will do it all the time. And it makes no difference whether it's like bronze. Like, this MMR is like, what? Bronze 4. And look at the difference between players. Because people are like, oh, iron players don't understand this, don't. No, the winner skew iron players and bronze players, they understand it perfectly, really well. They know exactly how to rotate. I know they don't farm super well. They sometimes have questionable champions, questionable compositions. They can play Shaco support, but I mean, overall they are useful. Overall they are useful. As opposed to the loser skew guys who is playing Alistair and he's somehow 0-9 against low damage composition. Like how do you even pull that stuff off? And that could be like gold, silver. I've seen this stuff in any elo. That's why kind of, you see, I try to play like, I prefer to play like 700 to 850 MMR approximately. But honestly, to me, it doesn't really make a big difference. If it becomes like whatever, silver or, well, I prefer not to play silver, because once you start going, the reason why I like low elo is because the champions in there are easier to beat. Because once you start going like gold level, upper silver, the champions change. The gameplay does not change, but the champions change. Like, you start to see a lot of Nautilus, you start to see a lot of Mundos, then tanks, like Gragases and stuff like that. Stuff that is just like Mordekaisers. And they're not going to be like super inters, but you see, like, it becomes much more difficult to control the game, because with Nasus, you have to have a lot of squishes, and you can just win on stacks alone. You don't need kills. Whereas with if you're playing gold, like some compositions are very, very difficult. Especially if you get to late game, like somebody like Gragas, he can permanently CC you. Even if he's like low skill, he can still press buttons because the cooldown is like 2 seconds, and it becomes a problem. Whereas in bronze, the difference is not really the skill. The difference is the champions that they pick is usually they like stuff like Yoni, like Lux is very frequently present. Kaisa, Severe, Lucian, Ezreal. You know, like this stuff is like very easy for Nasus to deal with. Stuff like Riven, Aurelia is like Zed. Nasus can easily beat these champions. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of like low elo. Predominantly. But the purpose of this video is just to demonstrate to you, like I was saying, that as you start winning, so when you're winning, all the players, all the good players are going to be on the enemy team, all the shitters are going to be on your team. As you start inting, where you're reversing the process, the reverse is going to start to happen. All the good players are going to be on your side, and all the inters are going to be on the enemy team. And I mean, you can see this. I mean, like Jesus Christ. Look at their team. They scored 2 points in 15 minutes. This is 11,000 gold lead, 12,000 gold lead by 15 minutes. And like, it's not by coincidence that this happens after I hard int. And they just like, hey, there you go, 3 wins. Okay, take care, bye-bye.